In this video, I'm going to show you step by step how to transfer your stocks and shares ISA from Vanguard over to Trading 212, which doesn't have the extra platform fees that Vanguard has. Now, of course, the first thing that you'll need to do is to open up a Trading 212 account. And if you would like to sign up and receive a free fractional share worth up to £100, then you can use the link in my description box down below. However, if you've already signed up to Trading 212 in the past 10 days and haven't received a free share, all you have to do is to click the three horizontal line menu over here. Scroll all the way down until you see the section use promo code, and here enter the code JUBAIR and you should get a free fractional share. Now here is my stocks and shares ISA that I have with Trading 212. If you are not sure if you are in the right menu, you should click the Trading 212 logo in the corner here, and over here you can see there are different accounts. First is the invest account, which Trading 212 by default would go into, and then you can scroll over here and press stocks ISA. Now with Trading 212 you can actually get the same Vanguard funds that you may have invested in with Vanguard, but without paying that platform fee. As you can see here in the most popular ETFs, you can see there are many Vanguard funds. Now it will be wise to actually find out if Trading 212 has the exact fund that you're trying to transfer from Vanguard. For example, a very common one is the VUSA. As you can see, Trading 212 does have the ability to invest in the Vanguard S&P 500, both the distributing version and of course the accumulating version. Here is the accumulating version just to show you. Now what you would want to do to start the process of transferring is of course get your details ready from Vanguard, because you're going to need that, and then click the three horizontal line menu over here again. Scroll all the way down again until you see the menu that says portfolio transfers here. Click on it. Now as you can see, there are two types of transfers: incoming, which means incoming into Trading 212, and the other is if you want to leave Trading 212, which of course we don't want to do in this video. Now you can also see here that I've already had a portfolio transfer, my stocks and shares ISA, from another provider into Trading 212, and it was pretty effortless, didn't take longer than about 2 weeks. But anyway, you would want to press new transfer over here. Now here Trading 212 lets you know a few things. You can see that it is automatic and paperless, this transfer process, and it is also free, meaning that Trading 212 doesn't actually charge you for the transfer from your old provider to Trading 212. However, your old provider may charge you a fee, but I believe Vanguard will not charge you a fee. If you are doing this from another platform, then the same steps will apply, but some stuff might be a bit different. But anyway, let's press get started. Now over here, you want to find your fund provider. As you can see, there are many. You can transfer from AJ Bell, Bank of Scotland, and a whole list of other transfers. As you can see, certain providers like Chip only allow 4 transfers. You can see here in the bracket, sometimes additional information is given. But anyway, we can scroll all the way down to get to Vanguard, or we can use this search menu over here and just type in VAN, and then you should see Vanguard over here and click into it. So once you've clicked into this menu, you can see here you need your Vanguard account details ready. For example, your Vanguard account number. For this one, I'm just going to make up a number 007, and that will allow me to continue the process. Now with Vanguard, you can only transfer your stocks and shares ISA, as Vanguard currently does not have a cash ISA, so all you have to do is press next. Now this is where things might get a bit more complicated, but do not worry, I'm going to walk you through it. Now there are 2 types of transfers that you can do from Vanguard to Trading 212. The first is stocks and cash, which is an in-specie transfer. This means that your investments from Vanguard will be transferred over as basically as they are over to Trading 212. However, this is an in-specie transfer, which means that Trading 212 has to have the same funds as you had invested in with Vanguard. Does that make sense now? This is why at the beginning we actually searched to see if Trading 212 provided the same funds that we had invested with Vanguard, for example, the VUSA or the Vanguard S&P 500 distributing. Now, if this is the case, then the transfer will be a bit more complicated, but the second option is to do it in cash. Now, if this is the case and you want to do an in-specie transfer, then it's going to be a bit more difficult. The second option is a cash transfer. Now, this is by far the simplest way and probably the quickest. This means that on Vanguard, on the app, you can log in and sell out all of your holdings and have them as cash, and then the full amount of cash will be transferred over to Trading 212. By far the simplest process. When I did my transfer from InvestEngine, I actually did this way. But of course, the big negative of doing cash transfers is that you have to sell out of all your investments. Even though this is within your ISA, you don't have to pay capital gains tax. It still means that you will be out of the market for a crucial few weeks, which could could often cost you thousands. I know for me, it actually did cost me thousands. But you know, it is what it is. So, you know, cash might not be your best bet and you may want to do an in-specie transfer. That being said, many funds that you can only buy on Vanguard will not be available anywhere else. These include the life strategy funds and many others. So you have to be careful when doing that. You might have to sell out in cash. Now, if you go with cash, there is the ability to transfer everything over. And if you want to do this, just leave everything at the bottom as it is. If you only want to transfer the current tax year, which means since the last tax year, if you have deposited, you know, anything, that will be the transfer because this is within the current tax year. Now, if you've had Vanguard for a long time and you have been depositing in the Stocks and Shares ISA for a while, you will probably want to click the previous tax years and do a full transfer from that as you are, you know, transferring everything over from Vanguard. But anyway, let's go into stocks and cash in specie to show how this will work, as cash is pretty simple. Just import the rough amount of cash that you have, and then Vanguard and Trading 212 should communicate together to sort everything out. So let's select stocks and cash in specie, leave everything at the bottom as it is, so we do a full transfer. Now here is where it gets complicated because you have to add all the assets that you have from Vanguard. So let's go into this menu here that says add asset. Now over here you have to select the assets that Trading 212 will have. For example, if I do VUSA, if I invested into the VUSA with Vanguard from the platform, then I would have to go into it and find out the exact version. Usually this will be the top one here, the Vanguard S&P 500. You might be wondering why there is 3 different ones with the same ticker code. That is because, you know, the stock exchange will be different. One is London Stock Exchange, one is Euronet Amsterdam, and the last is the Swiss Exchange. So more than likely it will be the top one if you are a UK investor. So in this menu, as you can see, it's asking you how many number of shares you have with the VUSA. If you wanted to, you can go in this menu here, view asset, and you can actually check to see if you got the right one. So as far as I know, Vanguard does not do fractional shares, so it will be quite easy to find the number of shares. Let's say we did 78 shares, and then you can press in your average purchase price. For example, it will currently probably be around £90. For example, it could be different depending on when you started. So there are 2 ways in which you can do the in-specie transfer. One is to specify a price, and the second is the current price on arrival. So if I go into the information box over here, you can see that average price refers to the average price at which stocks and ETFs were bought at your old provider. So you can find out information about your average prices in the account statements from Vanguard, or you can calculate it yourself by, you know, dividing the total purchase cost by the amount of shares that you have. Very basic math there. So you can do the transfer 2 ways. You can choose to transfer over your average purchase price. If you want to do this, you would go into specify price over here and then put in your average price. Let's say it was £60, and then Vanguard and Trading 212 will try to get you that average purchase price. The second is current price on arrival. Now, what current price on arrival is, which I don't recommend, is to set a price which will set the latest market price at the time your shares are transferred as an average purchase price. I would just leave it into specify price. So depending on whether you want to get your average purchase price, let's say it was £60, then Vanguard and Trading 212 should sort it out. But current price on arrival may or may not be the best suited for you because you could often lose a lot of money. So perhaps specify price may be better. I would personally just leave it at specify price, although this is not financial advice. Once you're done, you can add asset to the list. If you still have more assets, for example, the VWRL, you can add that to number of shares again, and then average price, you can add that. Make sure to add the complete list of assets, otherwise there might be some back and forth between your, transfer processes, and then press next. Now, once you're done with that, all you have to do is to review and sign the form, and please make sure that everything is confirmed and everything is in order. Double check your numbers, make sure you provide the right amount of shares. I'm sure if you put in the wrong amount of shares, the process just won't happen, so you're just delaying your process. For example, if you had only 10 shares of VUSA and you put in 10,000, of course that's not going to work. And now when you're done with that, just press review and sign form and all should be well. So after you do that, you should get a new bar here that will have the Vanguard logo or wherever you're transferring from, and you just have to wait. Here is what happened with my previous transfer process. As you can see, it has to pass a transfer request review first, and then transfer arrangements with your old provider, for example Vanguard, happen between Trading 212 and Vanguard, and then then your incoming assets get allocated and then the transfer is complete. As you can see previously, I went with just a cash transfer, which was very simple and painless. But of course, if you have a lot of shares and have been investing for a long time, cash might be a bad option as it will put you out of the market for a crucial amount of time. So make sure to check out some of my other videos and I'll see you in the next video.